little bit because I'm a little bit tied up, and I'm actually really enjoying life. Like I said the other day, yesterday or whatever, it was pretty tough. But I'm gonna tell you, tough things do happen, and I felt like, and I feel like I need to go back inside now, so I'm gonna go inside. But I felt like I needed to share this after all of that because that was basically a trauma report, right? But I feel like I needed to share more because when you hear things like that, people don't like to hear it. And I'm in the shed and I got bicycles and everything over here. But people don't like to hear it. But the truth about it is that, those are necessary and real things of life. And what made me realize this was being at twerk today. And I listened to stories of people that, called to speak to me. And the stories that they need to turn this light out outside. But the stories that they told, to me, I would be so devastated. So I'm gonna tell you, when y'all saw that stream, why does it feel so hot in here? When y'all saw that stream, you were thinking to yourself, well, okay. I mean, it was probably distressing for people to watch. It was distressing for me to go through, but it's a part of it. I enjoy walking. I like walking back and forth to where I gotta go, and I know that I have a plan for, my next steps and the next things that I'm gonna do, in life. And I like the journey that I'm living. I shouldn't be sitting in this recliner because it's not good for me. That's why I went outside, because if I sit here, I guess I can sit up, but it's not good for me, right? To sit in this recliner. But what I'm saying is that with the journey that I'm on, I want to go back outside. I'm going back outside. I need fresh air. Maybe I'll take a walk. I need to close the curtains though if I do that. And see, I'm intentionally taking this walk, but it's just around the hood. But I will be taking a longer walk on Saturday. But yeah, let me close this all up. But yeah, we finna take a walk around the block. Hopefully the internet don't act weird, because it's like when I first leave the house, I'm gonna tell you what, like I said, that's why I feel like all of this is just encroaching into your what is it called, your privacy. Because what it does when you have a cell phone, and for the carrier that I have, at least I've noticed this with this particular carrier, which is tied, to a few other ones that are out there. But what I noticed is this, right? Oh shit, did I do that? I hope I didn't do that. I know I did because I'm a dummy. Okay, but what I noticed is, like, when I'm at home and I use my phone, oh shit, I'm about to break my neck. I need to turn the light down. When I use my phone to when I use my phone to, I haven't gotten accustomed. I move things around, and so now I can't walk in the dark. I'm like, what the hell? But when I use my phone at home, or the internet at home on my phone, it's like it'll make me connect to my home Wi-Fi, which I think kind of defeats the purpose, because I want to be able to use whatever I want to use when I want to use it. But it's like it recognizes my location as being at home, even if the location is off, and it'll make it so that the data Wi-Fi is real choppy or acts weird. So I don't have no choice but to connect to my home Wi-Fi. But when I get out and about and like away from the house, it's like, which way do I want to go? I want to go down the biggest, baddest street, because I didn't like that yesterday. I don't like feeling like being put in a position where I'm, I will tell you what it reminds me of. When we were little and we lived in the hood. And this is when my mom and dad first moved to the hood after the military or whatever. And I remember this little boy that used to always, and that's kind of what's happening now, except I think the whole environment of the world has really changed. But there was a little boy that used to always pick with us. He liked to pick fights. I remember his full name. I'm not going to say it, though. And I remember we were at the playground. He's picking with us. And me and my sister would run to the house and be like, Daddy, Daddy, such and such pick with us. And he told us to get back out there and fight. And he would close the screen door and lock it. But let us in. He would sit in the house and eat chicken. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. So I stepped out of the range for my Wi-Fi at home. And because I stepped out of the range for my Wi-Fi at home, then it would allow me to connect to data without acting stupid. And it's supposed to be unlimited. But anyway, so I needed this message so bad. Because like I said, when we first moved to the hood, after, my father got out of the military and my parents, had some struggles, okay? There was a little boy. We used to go out to the playground to play. And he would pick with us. Me and my sister would run to the house and be like, Mommy, daddy, that boy is trying to beat us up and keep picking with us. And my daddy said he had a big bowl of chicken. It was like a yellow Tupperware bowl. I don't know if y'all remember, but fried chicken in it. And he would sit there and he was like, get out there and fight. He pushed us out the door. He said, go back out there and fight. He told us to go outside. We stood and looked at him. He locked the door. And he was like, but he's a boy. And he was like, I don't care. You pick up whatever you got to do, and beat his ass. Right? And I got in trouble for that because I learned that word from him. And I remember writing ass on a piece of toilet paper, and I got in so much trouble. But anyhow, so we went out there. I was never really a fighter, but we had to. We didn't have a choice. And I guess maybe that's how Black people raise their kids. But we only got that raising up until for a couple of years because my parents divorced, But I think that was so important. And I think the same thing needs to happen now. Like, I really remember that, and on this block that I'm walking on, like around Christmas time, some lady was walking into her house. I don't know which one it was, but it was on the news thing. And some man walked up and forced her into the house and robbed her or some shit like that on this block. It's so bad out here. But anyhow, it's good. I guess I don't have anything. But, and I always thought that was my saving grace. You don't have anything. Don't nobody want nothing you got, But like I said, your peace of mind is something that's valuable too. But I compared it to yesterday because, me walking and, I live in this neighborhood, so it's not as bad for me, even though it doesn't mean it's guaranteed because the lady lived over here somewhere and, somebody fucked with her. But this street is a bad street. But as I was walking past, like I said, I didn't even see him. You see how this street looks like there's nothing going on? It's like, and I was, bucking, my feet was hurting, trying to get to where I'm going. And then the bicycle came out of nowhere, came out of one of these little hidden spots, right? And what he said to me, and I don't know if y'all heard the impact of it when I was talking about it last night. What he said to me was, because I was just like, because I was like, this has got to stop. So I stopped and I halfway stopped. I just said, look, are you the same dude that was been stopping me every time? Whatever. He was like, I live out here. I'm going to do whatever. He didn't live out there because it wasn't out there to live. And I'm going to walk back past there probably this weekend. So I'll share with y'all where I was walking past. But, so what his comment that got me and was like, oh, hell no, because it's a fight or flight thing. Either you going to fight or, it's what it is. I'm not calling the police. That's not happening. So what he says to me, and I think when he stopped me the first time, like I said, it was a course of over 6 hours because when I got to that point the first time, it was daytime and I was going to the store. Stayed in the store for a couple of hours, came back out, saw him. Then it takes me a long time because my feet hurt and I walk so slow. My feet are busted. But so this is what I'm talking about when I'm walking down this street. I don't think sometimes the drivers, this person was going so bad they don't realize how fast they're going, but sometimes they do. And that person stayed on their side. Ooh, there's roaches on the ground. See that thing falling? But so what he said that got me, and I'm so glad I remembered that thing from when I was little today, okay? But he said, oh, well, I live out here. And he didn't live out there because it's a shopping center, okay? And I had to walk through it back from Walmart. And he was like, so every time you walk past, I'm going to say what I need to say, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Okay. Now, this took me back, and these are probably the missing parts of the Blackness that I need. The part where my daddy locked me out, and so I don't have my daddy to do that now, so I got to do it for myself. If you got to put yourself in that way so that you have to do what you got to do, you do, And the thoughts that I had about it yesterday, because what he said was that it ain't nothing you can do about it. The hell there ain't, you know what I'm saying? The hell there isn't. And the thing about it is this, that in this world today, we're going to have to learn to fight. And, by any means necessary. Like my dad said, you got to pick up a bottle. I don't care what you got to do. That's what you do. Never been a one for violence. It's not my cup of tea. But I don't like having my time taken or having somebody make me or put themselves in a situation where I have to speak to them. I'm not speaking to you. I'm not. And so it's the F around and find out mode. So we got to get there. What made me think about last night, though, yesterday was, how if you have bugs or something like that or any type of creatures that you don't want, you get what? Pesticide. So people like that are pests. So they deserve pesticide. So if I got to get bear repellent, I don't know about weapons because I feel like if you get a gun or whatever like that, you got to use it. And, really, that ain't never been my thing. Never, ever been my thing. But you need to strike them so that they don't know where to hit them. You know, let them keep talking, let them keep coming. When they get close enough, bam, it's done. One and done, it's done, and you just keep on moving, because your intention was never to do harm to this person. It's to mind your business and going about your way, And what made me think about this even more, see how this guy's on a bicycle, but see, he actually has a purpose. He's riding fast, trying to get where he's going. Like I was walking fast as I could, trying to get where I'm going. I'm not looking at nobody, not stopping for nobody. I don't have nothing to say to nobody else, nothing like that, See, minding his business. No, minding his business. Not thinking about nobody, but trying to make sure he ain't scaring nobody either, minding his business. That's what I was doing. And that's the thing, I have to realize my vulnerabilities because other people see them and realize them. You're tired, you've been walking for a long time, but it's almost exhilarating. For me, it's exhilarating to know that, hey, I did this. I walked 12 miles, 15 miles, whatever. It's exhilarating for me when I come to the end. And I would have been really happy last night. I'm sorry y'all had to see the tore down version because, again, it makes people feel a certain way. It's hard for people to watch because it's one of those things where somebody's watching, just like when my mom disowned me. And that guy was just like, Maria, the YouTube person that used to every once in a while come and check on me. He was like, Maria, that was really hard to watch, So what I translated that into was that, I would love to try to support you, but it was so painful for me to watch that because it's painful not because that person know me personally or that person even care about me really, but just as a human being, when you see somebody else and you took your time to watch somebody else go through something, it traumatizes you to a certain extent if you're a good human being, Nobody wants to be exposed to that. I look at myself and I talked about how when I was going through those real lows, thinking about my mom and stuff. See, this street, no joke, look how small this street is. You see how small this street is? And there's people speeding just like that. And the thing about it, sometimes people will intentionally, like I said, run you over. I have so many stories. I've only been here 3 years, and not even about me personally, but people that have told stories about people doing that to other people and gloated about it. I'm like, what? These people out here are sick. But gloated about it. And this is a guy that was limping from, being run over by a truck. The world is crazy. That's all I'm going to say. But back to that story. So, I felt a kind of a little bit of a responsibility to come back and let you guys know it's a part of life, just like, that would have been a great night last night. The only thing that messed it up was that guy, because I felt so good. I had gotten to Walmart. I had gotten some stuff. I didn't get everything I needed, but I was able to window shop and see what I needed to get. And then some stuff, I was like, I got this stuff at home. Most of the stuff I have at home, but I know that I can't use it because I tried. I don't have enough muscle strength, but I need to try again, which is when I go back home, I'm going to go look through my tool stuff and see if I can find the right pieces again. So tomorrow, the first thing will be to try those lugs. But, that's the thing, though. We all go through hard times. Some of us publicize it and some of us don't. And to me, it's all a part of life. And I think my life is so beautiful and it's so rich. And, I feel the world is really changing because I don't know if y'all are on TikTok like I am and what TikTok exposes you to because different people see different things. But I see things about women crying in tears, women that went into the military and got raped. And to me, that's the worst thing. You send your 18 or 19. There's a bug chasing me. It's a moth. I'm so scared of everything. But you send your child to the military, 18, 19 years old. They had this girl, her daddy, sent her beautiful smile, just so happy to be serving the country. And that's why I'm glad I had a father that was in the military because it's all bullshit, But she was so happy, so smiling. She got raped and murdered and everything else by the people in the military, So sometimes the things that we put most value in are the things we need to watch out for, And I think about how people, right now, I don't have a vehicle, but like I said, I'm what I want to do. And I don't know because it all depends on me having a job and maintaining my job. But you know how fickle I am. I almost left that job. I almost left on whatever the last day that I worked was, because I don't like any sense that I'm being disrespected at all. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I've been through too much. I don't like it. But, I'm glad that things kind of, I'm glad I didn't do that, And like the guy was saying about everything that's happened to my computers and this, that, and the other, it was crazy, And he said it happens for a reason, and it does, because I needed a silence and a break and just kind of see less is more. I'll just put it that way. The less And I'm still waiting on to come back for that. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but again, if you have delivery drivers coming to your house, be specific about where they leave stuff, not just because you're scared of people going to steal it, but because sometimes they steal stuff. And not only that, but sometimes they'll do things that they're advised not to do. Just, again, the burn test to see what they can get away with, and eventually they do more. Like, don't let them be coming into private areas. If you have a garage, if you have a shed, and you didn't put no notes for them to go there, don't do that. Because then when the perfect time comes for something to happen, like I said, I was so appalled. This lady was talking about how this Amazon driver, she happened to be at home. She had a keyless door entry where you push buttons to get in. And the further you get up the street, the more dangerous it is. Somebody got killed up the way. And they're young people, young teenagers shooting and killing each other. I don't want to be scary. So, and I like walking, I do. And like I said, my feet are blistered like never before. But he used the keyless door entry to get into her house. She never gave him a code or anything like that. So it shouldn't have happened, And see, this is what made me scared. Like when I see a lone person like this walking down the street, may or may not be minding their business like me, but it makes me know that I need to go back around the other way and go back home. But I do need to be careful. I do not need to be walking far from home at night. Okay. I don't like to be scared. And I don't like my freedom being taken. And this is what kills me too. Like I said, I don't know if y'all are on TikTok, but I think it's a lot of good information from real people with real experiences that you won't see publicized in many ways. A lot of it now is being filtered. People getting accounts banned and stuff, but they're telling the truth. People get accounts banned for, saying that somebody else took over their identity, made up a name similar to theirs, made up an account similar to theirs, reposted all their videos, and then you say, hey, this person is not a real person. Look at this. See, this is what I mean. This person is on a mission. He like, I would gladly run you over. Happy to run you over. And I'll tell you the story that the little boy told me. There was a woman. She was in a car with somebody, right? And I don't know, she had a fight with him or something. I don't know what happened. And so she got out of the car. She started walking. He was yelling at her, whatever. He hit her with the car intentionally. She started cursing at him, something. You hit me, whatever. He backed up over her and hit her again. Okay, so this is 2021, something like this, right? And this is and this is what's so ironic and so evil about this world. I'm going to tell you. So this was the person that told me about this was a guy that was crippled. And I always, to me, I have a heart for people because, in a way, I'm crippled in many ways, I have a heart for people like that. 'Cause to me, they would be more sensitive or whatever. But no, some people take it the other way. Just like if you look at somebody and you say because somebody's ugly, that, that they would treat a person that's attractive even better, whatever. But no, but sometimes people do the opposite. They take those weaknesses and it causes them to be more evil. But I have so many stories. I remember being in Overtown. This is like maybe I don't remember, 2005, 2007, something like that. And there was a whole bunch of guys outside. And it's a real ghetto place. And it was like this huge garbage can. And there was a whole bunch of noise going on. And there was a girl, and I guess her heart was broken over this dude. And I'm going to address, last night I told y'all about the thing about I don't know you and you don't know me. I like to keep it that way. I'll tell y'all about that. And I don't remember what was the situation there. I think it was just a conversation that we were having, just a regular conversation. And then that was the disconnect. I was like, what? Where did that come from? It had nothing to do with, the conversation wasn't going that way. It was just like somebody turned a switch off and it was there. I was like, wow. But, so this is what happened. There was a garbage can in this neighborhood that we lived in. And like all the loud, rowdy men and stuff like that were out there. And I wonder where that house was. But all the loud, rowdy men were out there doing whatever. And there was a girl, and she was in this, and at first I thought it was just a couple fighting. She was yelling at him about something, blah, blah, blah. And then he was with his boys. And I guess, he basically, from what I could see from the outside looking in, basically he used her, but she wasn't aware. She thought they were in a relationship. And so he got tired of her talking. So he picked her up and physically threw her into the garbage can. I just, awful. But awful. That's why I say when I think about it, in my life, I've had 3 boyfriends, and they all, when I think about it, probably, and maybe many of us women are the same. In reality, when we look at it, maybe we never were. That's why when people ask, "Are you single?" I've always been. How long have you always? Always. The first one was high school years. I didn't really want one. My mom and dad had another military couple that was a friend, and they were related to somebody else who went there, and the boy was making up stories about me. I didn't know that he was doing that. And another guy that lived near him, they all lived near each other, he didn't like that, and he came to defend my honor, and so he was going to be my boyfriend. And I was just like, I'm not really looking for a boyfriend, but okay, fine, that's fine. And so that's what the deal was, and that's what that was. And I don't think he was a bad guy, but then little things. I was real picky about stuff. Like, she lied and said, I think he lied and said that he was like 17, but he was really 19, And then his sister was telling me he sold drugs, and they had to put the house up for mortgage to get him out of jail. And I was like, what? I never would have believed it. Never would have believed it. But everybody that I'm talking about is doing a lot better than me in life right now, at least from the outside looking in. And you ever hear the stories about how somebody hooked up with somebody when they were younger, and if they ran into them now, they'd be like, what the fuck? So I'm not mad at anybody, because at this situation, people would be like, what the hell? I think even like in high school, there were people that I remember from when I first moved to the States. And I remember this person's name too. He was in band. And when we first moved into our second house in the States, he lived right behind us. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember such and such and such. And we used to do this, that, and the other. And I guess his way of disconnecting was like, oh, you remember far more than I do. And I was like, we were like 8, 9 years old, And I was just like, wow, So that separation, just like the guy said, I don't know you and you don't know me. That same type, it's always been a thing. It's been a recurring thing. People do not want to be associated with or know me in any way. I have literally been removed from my high school yearbook. I am not in my high school yearbook. If you go online, it's not there. I do not exist. It's like I never existed. It's really weird. And I remember, it's like to me, I think it has to be like a spiritual thing, because it's no way, like I said, all these different people, places, and things, it can't be blamed on one person or one nefarious thing. It's not, because it's too many. It's too many to be a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? It's too many to say, oh, it's just one person. At this point in my life, I don't have anything where somebody could say, and other people would say that people were jealous. But at this point in my life, there's nothing to be jealous about, unless you just appreciate the fact that I love me for me. But there's a lot of pain that comes with it, And so, it's too many, too many coincidences. But like I said, the world is changing a lot. And people on the bicycle are the worst. To me, this looks like just a nice old man. But the kids will come zooming past you. And not even kids, but like 20-year-olds, And this is kind of the situation the way it was. And you be scared to speak to folks because, like I said, the person asked me what time it was. And I just said, I don't know. And that's their way of engaging. But like I said, here, I don't feel that way. But again, it's because, this is my neighborhood pretty much. But yeah, do I think there's good people here? Yeah, but they're probably the same place that I am. But I feel like the video that I posted last night put a lot of things that made everything seem hopeless. It's not. It's not. It's a call for me to take action. It's a call for me to fight, that I have to fight. I don't have any choice. You can't depend on the police. I don't want anything to do with them at all. Can't depend on them. Other black people, it's, a white person would probably look out for me easier than a black person would. It's the truth, I see a lot of really bad things with black men, on social media and in real life, and this is what I wanted to talk about that I didn't really get a chance to, but how I saw this post, and again, we all live different lives. People live different realities based on their perception and what their experiences and what they're subjected to. If you go to a real nice neighborhood, they would never believe any of this. Or if you go to somebody that's not walking, they would never experience any of this, so they wouldn't believe it. But I came across this video of this black female, and she was, griping about something about white people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, it wasn't no white person last night that told me, well, you don't have a choice but for me to harass you because, you know, that's not the experience that I have. So I can't get into all those videos, but TikTok, because I'm of Afro descent, keeps sending me all these videos. And I don't want to see no more of that because that's not my truth. You know what I'm saying? That's not my truth. It's not white people that, in my real life that's fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? In my real life, it was a family. That time I was walking home, trying to get home as quick as possible. It was a family, a female with a couple of teenagers and a toddler, that I had soft heart for because I was like, this is a family, but no. And so, at this time, it is all for each person for themselves, and so I have to learn, certain things about me I'm going to have to stop being. I'm very open. I like being open. It's part of my freedom. I enjoy it. See, here comes the same man on that pink bicycle again, pink shirt and the bicycle again, and yeah, I really do enjoy it. And it saddens me because what first made me sad about all this is like, I remember when I would look at young people, as children. You see teenagers, 15, 16, oh, look at the baby, such and such and such. And I remember the first time I realized that maybe that wasn't true. There was like a little boy, 10 years old, and he might have been white or Hispanic, I don't know, with a little black boy. And I was just like, oh, such and such and such. And I was just all, with that. And then he was like, oh, yeah, we're going to go eat our milk and cookies. And I was just like, what? And they were just being so grown. I was like, what in the world? Kids are not kids anymore, I don't know. And like I said, those kids that I thought was getting run over, and I feel like I wanted to protect them, 15, 16 years old. No, the man was yelling at them and screaming at them, not because he was being mean for them to get out the street. He was yelling at them because he was like, such and such got shot the other day. Did y'all do it? I'm like, dog, children. So, I don't want to live in fear, and I don't ever want to be put in a situation like my time and my space and me, all of me and my energy is so important to me. How did I feel about last night when that happened? I felt good that I was able to walk away from that and he finally left me alone. But I know what it taught me, though, are there going to be situations that people are going to try me. Look at this shit. I'm scared of everybody. And I don't want to be like that, and this is what I talk about when I say, like, I don't relate to, like they said, skin folks and kin folks. Because, when you see, I remember I used to feel it, like when I saw like another black person, I'd be like, wow, But now you're scared. And I don't like that. It shouldn't be that way, I don't like that. To me, black is supposed to be love, but it's not. It's not to me. And it's not just because what's portrayed on the media, but things I see, like in real life. It's not. But I guess it goes back to, my learning too, that, there's nothing absolute, There's nothing absolute. You can't say all black people, you can't say all white people. You can't say everything, But it makes me sad. And I think I've done enough walking. But my whole point in this whole little walk and talk, and I don't think I want to be stuck up in the house anymore. And the windows don't open, though, too. So that's another thing. It would be nice to let some night air in. But I would get gnats and stuff. And I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, but my whole point is that I'm sorry that I exposed y'all to that last night. It was just for my safety and protection. And there's a lot of weird things going on in this world. But the good news about that, like I said, I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I got up, started working on the bikes, the washing machines, everything that I talked about. Then I was like, hey, I can fix this myself. Let me go look for my drills, my saws. And that's where I walked out to go get stuff at, right? And yeah, so, but I realized that it's dangerous walking at night. I realized that the atmosphere and people have changed. I realized that, there are going to be people that see where I've been fortunate before, where people saw and they were just like, oh man, nobody, somebody did something, nobody would care. And then they thought about it and it was like, it's not worth it because don't nobody care. Nothing's going to happen. I've had that happen too, where somebody said, man, don't nobody care about her, But the truth of the matter is that, there are people that, they're getting out of it is, the inner peace and joy. I was happy walking home. I was happy getting home quickly. It would have been successful. That was the only thing that messed it up. And I would have been happy with my blisters on my feet, whatever else. And it's the inner joy. And I want to keep that. So it's my issue is, or my problem solving opportunity is, I want to be able to keep my peace, be peaceful. But I also want to make sure don't nobody try to come and rob it and I just give it to them. You feel what I'm saying? I want to have defense, but I don't want to lose my peace by protecting myself from somebody else's stupidity, I like who I am as far as nonviolence. I like who I am as far as, being to myself. Do I know that maybe some things may have to change a little bit? Yeah. But it'll all come to, I just have to be conscious and aware of it. I think there's a lot, just like that, just a dude walking down the street, minding his business, but had on camouflage. You're scared, but you never know who you're walking past, could be a murderer, could be a pedophile, could be whatever, or somebody that just don't have anything going on with nothing to lose that really want to fuck with you. So you don't have anything to lose too, and, I don't know, I enjoy life and I really want to live it out peacefully. I like the fact that I'm by myself. I like all of that shit, but I have to get out every now and then. And, people talk so much about God and talk so much about, the opposite. But to me, it's all really kind of, everything is everything, like Lauryn Hill said. But I don't know. But I felt like I had to readdress, all that stuff. That, yeah, those are things. And it's not just, even though you guys see, like I said, I'm very open. You guys see everything. That was a necessity. Spiritual thing, because as soon as I started vlogging, things calmed down. But if I hadn't started, I feel like all people come out the woodworks. But it's true, because as soon as I pull out my camera, people go away. Had I pulled out my camera then, I don't know if he would have tried to rob me or just acknowledge that, hey, she really does have a phone or whatever like that. So anyways, I'm going to go. I just wanted to let off some steam, but I'm sorry if that traumatized anyone. And like I said, somebody came into the live earlier and they were talking about Kevin Samuels, and they got the wrong impression. I'm a whole different breed. Those are value systems that I have that may be similar to others. But my lifestyle is different. I don't have, money and family, but I know that these are things that I want and I work towards them, and I come across hurdles. And I think those are important things to see. Like I said, folks struggle, and I didn't get to finish just telling you about the way that other people struggle. I didn't have my glasses on because it's dark, couldn't see anyways. But, people, oh shit, there's a big ass bug on the ceiling. Oh, I can't take it. This kind of shit drives me nuts. And see, this is the type of stuff that happened to me. Like, I ran into an old video that I had where I was living in Hollandale Beach, and I actually just abandoned that place because it was just like flying bugs and shit. And some of these motherfuckers fly, and it's like have a person that they see you, you see them. I was in the kitchen the other day, and like the sink, I'm stuttering. I have the sink pulls. I didn't used to stutter until after legal, by the way. But the sink pulls away from the. Nothing changed in the light, and the light is the same. I didn't turn on any lights. This is how it is. But the sink pulls away from the counter. And so I had smashed one bug, and I used to be really scared to kill bugs. I still am. I'll scream while I do it. But I have to because I don't have a choice, right? But then I came back in the kitchen another time. There were two big bugs that came from behind the counter. And I stood there and I screamed. And it was so funny. It was like they were friends. They stopped at the same time, looked at me like, oh, she ain't going to do nothing. And they kept going. What the hell? But anyhow, the world is changing. And, that's who I am and not changing that. But also, and knowing that there has to be some form of change. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that I'm going to have to adjust a little bit. That means I might have to fight a little bit. Don't like hurting people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. I don't like it. But in this day and age, you have to take care of yourself. There is not anyone else that is going to stand up for you, especially being a woman of Afro descent, especially a woman that don't have material means that shows or demonstrates to anybody else that somebody has sometime cared about you, especially a woman that when, I like to push myself. I like walking 20 miles, and I'll be in pain and hobbling, and I don't mind carrying my little portable chair with me, Those things all say homelessness. Those things all say that there's not one person in this world that cares about you. And those things attract people, that don't think a woman should be able to walk freely like that, I don't know how else to say it because I'm not getting any input or feedback. But who's this Louis V crying and being sad? No, it's no need for tears of sadness. This is, you guys, I don't know if y'all are on TikTok or not, but if you watch TikTok, there's people that go through some real stuff. This is nothing. This is nothing. And like I said, I'm glad that I have the mindset, the vim, the energy, desire to make it through this, And I still didn't tell the part about people that have cars and have nice things. Right now, they go through the same bullshit. People telling them all kinds of shit, running them around in circles and all that, And it would piss me off if I paid a bunch of money thinking that would give me some status and it don't give me shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, that I love my life, and I want you guys to be happy for me for where I am, where I'm trying to be, and just a little accomplishments, The fact that I'm in realization that I'm gonna have to buckle up and, be ready to defend myself. Like I said, that's why that memory that came back was so good. The one about, when we first moved to the hood and that little boy was always picking with us. And my daddy said, get back out there and fight. And he locked the door and just stood there eating his chicken, not scared, and he was like, I don't care, if it's a boy, and I don't care if he's bigger than you. You pick up whatever you got to do. And so that's what I need to carry in my adult life. That's the bit of blackness that I'm saying that I'm missing. That was at 10 years old. A lot of black people raise their kids that way. I didn't get that whole raising, and it's not my nature. But I'm glad that there was a part that was instilled in me when I was little that's what you got to do at times. So I got to dig deep and pull that out of me and think about it like my dad thought about it. Hey, get out there. We had on dresses. We were little girls, I don't care if he's bigger than you. I don't care if it's a boy. You pick up whatever you have to level up the playing ground and you beat the shit out of him. But anyways, I love you. Peace. Whatever. I'm out.